yesterday present. We had some breaking news from the Guardians yesterday, though, and it's a deal that I'm frankly surprised at the backlash from. The Guardians have sent shortstop Amed Rosario to the Dodgers for Noah Syndergaard, a starting pitcher who's currently on rehab assignment and cash consideration. So they gain no money, they lose no money. Essentially, it's a player-per-player swap. Rosario to the Dodgers, Noah Syndergaard to the Guardians. Earl, we had started our Behind the Glass last night with the trade, so I want to start with G here. G, what was your initial reaction to hearing the Guardians have traded Amed Rosario to the Dodgers for Noah Syndergaard?
My thing was about time. Because, sometimes when I'm talking to Guardians enthusiasts, and I'm talking to the diehard Guardians, we got a bunch of them on our panel, Jay, Jason Lloyd, Bull, it's frustrating for some people like the just the common knowledgers, right? Sometimes we like, well, look, y'all love the prospects. Y'all's prospect. You can rattle them all off. Baseball of America, right? You know the rankings, know all the names. But then we never see these guys. You love them so much that you don't play them. And then you have to give them away for free. I don't get it. Then you got guys who, like Amed Rosario, who's a guy who is not a highly touted prospect. He's a guy who's a middle-of-the-road shortstop. He's a converted shortstop. And, he's serviceable, but he's not at an elite position like shortstop. He's not going to be having a tremendous glove. He doesn't have a crazy bat or stick. He's not really a guy that's going to have too much power. So he's a medium sauce guy. No one goes to BW3s and orders medium size. It's either mild or hot. Don't get medium. So at the end of the day, we sitting here looking at Rosario and we like, okay, well, let's move on from him, right? Let's get something for him. And then they move him, get something for him, which we knew we wasn't going to get that much for him. And then, oh my.
People went crazy.
This is what I don't get.
What?
So let's go step by step.
Yeah.
3 things you need to know about Amed Rosario. 1, he was a really good hitter against lefty pitching. Mm-hmm. Against lefties, the dude could rake. What was he okay at? Hitting against righties. What was he bad at?
Fielding.
He was statistically and analytic. You can look up any metric you want. He ranked in the bottom 3 to 5 in every defensive category for a shortstop in Major League Baseball. Some of the Guardians' top young prospects, not pitchers, but like actual field prospects, are middle infielders. Mm-hmm. Gabriel Arias, Tyler Freeman, Brian Rocchio, all play shortstop or second base. And those guys could not get consistent at bats as long as Amed Rosario was manning the shortstop everyday position for the Guardians. So this trade, if it does nothing else, I don't think it signals them as sellers or buyers. I just think it gives them a chance to see their younger guys play at an MLB level and get the requisite at bats they need to determine if they are going to be part of the team's future or not. This deal makes perfect sense to me. They had a gluttony of guys in the middle infield. Their 2 best starters, and 3 if you want to include Cal Quantrill, are hurt right now. You need a guy in the rotation. You get a guy in Syndergaard who at one point was electric, one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's certainly tailed off the last couple of years. He has a 7 ERA this year. But at least he's a guy you can count on to say, hey, you've pitched in a September start that's mattered before. We may have to throw you in because Bieber, McKenzie, and Quantrill are out while getting a look at the young guys. To me, the trade makes perfect sense.
I mean, to me, the trade was a wash. Like, I think I asked you the question.
Yeah, they're not better or worse by this.
They're not better or worse. No. You can't really call them buyers or sellers based on this move. But when you look at it, it frees up space to get a better look at some of these prospects we talk about.
You needed it.
We talk about the Guardians having 6 or 7 of the top 100 prospects, and about 3 or 4 of these guys are middle infielders. So you want to be able to see these middle infielders get the opportunity to show that they can be pros. When it comes to Amed Rosario, it's not like the dude was all that good, right? You said he was probably the worst defensive shortstop in Major League Baseball. This is a dude batting .267 with 3 home runs. So it's not like it, and he was a guy that the Guardians was not going to extend past this year.
That's the other thing.
We talked about ad nauseum. This was going to be one of the guys between him and Shane Bieber that were going to probably be moved before the trade deadline. He gets moved, and it's like people go crazy. What did you think you were going to get for Amed Rosario? You wasn't going to get prospects, right?
Nope.
And as far as like getting Syndergaard back, yeah, he's way past that 2016 New York Mets guy. But he's a veteran pitcher, and the one thing about a guy who you know has done it before, and then you marry that with this organization who does a great job of getting the best out of pitchers, I think it makes sense, especially when you just need an arm. You have so many
They literally
guys.
just need a guy to pitch.
Yeah, you have so many guys in a rotation that's either injured or has reached this quota of innings pitched that now you just need a guy that's serviceable and can fill it out. Think about this. Our top 3 guys are hurt. And then the young guys, Bybee, Allen, and Gavin Williams, they all started in the minor leagues. So that pitch clock was already it was already getting there. I mean, we had
Xavier
Curry, Curry
and
pitching.
as the season progresses, when Syndergaard's back and healthy, there are going to be times when, especially if Cleveland's still in the playoff hunt, they're going to have to rest a guy, one of the young guys, Bybee, Allen, Williams, to save him for a playoff start. And who do you slide in there? That's where Syndergaard comes into play. I don't think this means they're total buyers. I don't think it means they're total sellers. I think this is a move that makes sense for both franchises. The Dodgers needed a bat, and Syndergaard wasn't in their starting rotation. The Guardians needed a pitcher, and Rosario wasn't significantly better than the guys who they think could fill in that spot. And both were expiring contracts.
But I got a question for both of y'all. Are they going to make a move to let us know what side of the fence that they're on? Because we still don't know what side of the fence that they're on.
You go first.
I don't listen. I think they're buyers and sellers. Like, I think they're just both. Like, to me, I think they believe that the best people in their roster are going to be their younger guys. At this point, if you ask me, would I make another move? No. What I would do is I would play my young guys, and if I play my young guys, it's an added bonus and more experience to the young guys that I could go into next year. Think about how good you feel about Gavin Williams and Bybee and Allen if, by the way, they make a playoff series and they get to start in the playoff series, right? Think about what – now, they may put them on ice. I wouldn't do it. But just think about what you can do with that. You can build off that and continue to move. For me, I'm going to see the young dudes because I don't believe there's anybody on the market that if they trade for is going to make a huge difference. They have concrete organizational problems. Like, what I mean by that is you don't have power at the power positions. You don't have superstars. Your shortstop, your center fielder, your number one ace, your left fielder, your third base. They only got one guy at third base in Jose Ramirez who is a star. You have to have stars at those main positions. They don't have them. Now, until they find them, I wouldn't be running around trading people.
So here's the crazy part, Earl. I went to bed last night saying I think the Guardians are going to end up being buyers. And not big buyers. I don't think there's anyone they could get.
You woke up saying they sell us.
Well, I woke up to the news.
Push,
I woke up to the news that the Los Angeles Angels just gave up 2 of their top 3 prospects for Lucas Giolito. 2 of their top 3. Their number 2 prospect and their number 3 prospect for Lucas Giolito. If Shane Bieber was healthy, the haul the Guardians could have got back for Shane Bieber after seeing what the White Sox got for Lucas Giolito would have been absurd. Way more than the pitcher they're actually acquiring because he just hasn't, frankly, been as good as we've been accustomed to Shane Bieber being. With that in mind, if you're getting a number 2 and a number 3 prospect in an organization, that's like a Gavin Williams type level prospect. Like, that's what we're talking about here. For Lucas Giolito, could you get a number 4 or 5 for Aaron Savali? And if you could, hell, I'm punting.
I think
at that point, give me that prospect.
You know, the other side of this that I'm going to really enjoy is, you know, with him gone, I think Oscar is going to play tonight.
And Oscar got called up. That is true.
You know, it'll be interesting to finally see him back in the lineup. Now I'm wondering if Bo Naylor will officially become the everyday starting catcher for the Guardians. So we don't know if they're buyers or sellers, but what I can look at is saying, okay, they're a 500 team. They've been a 500 team all season. They've not had some crazy losing streak, and they've not had some winning streak that, like, overly wowed you.
Nope.
This is who this team is. It's a lot of young, raw talent, and maybe they're lining themselves up to see, okay, let's just see what we have with these guys that's mostly some of our top prospects and see what we can do going forward. I would love to see them move a prospect or 2 to get another veteran bat in the lineup. That's probably unlikely, but I would like to see it.
They still got 3 catchers.
Well, do you count David Fry as a catcher?
Yes.
Then yes.
Man, they just get rid of Gallagher. Listen, like, come on, bro. That's another roster spot, bro. Listen, we've been hearing these Rokios and Nokios and Valeris or Valera with Valerian. That's a dragon. Like, the prospect game irks me, McNuggets. It does, bro, because we've been hearing about these same people for decades.
Well, Espino has the shoulder and the arm issue, so he's not pitching. Valera is actually swinging a much better bat. Rocchio, we're going to see now with the loss of Rosario. Chase DeLauder was their first-round pick last year. He's at Lake County right now. He's hitting the crap out of the ball. He's a guy to watch. Now, I asked Jason 2 days ago on Tuesday, and he said there's probably another year before he's ready to be in majors.
Man.
But he's a guy to keep an eye
That George
on.
Valera, that's the dude that was fighting, right?
He just came back. He's hit 2 home runs in his last 3 games. So in the outfield, that is him. And if you go to the next one, 6 through 10 on the prospect list, that's Johinski Noel, who Jason said is probably the next offensive player to be
That look
called
like
up.
my cousin Darren.
That's John. Is it Jonkowski? I'll be honest. I'd be lying to tell you I
My
knew for
cousin look
sure how
just
to
like
pronounce
that.
his name. But that is Noel. He's a first baseman, third baseman, can play a little corner outfield.
Power hitter.
Hey, this guy right
Has
here,
more power than a lot of the guys, but I don't think he's their number 9 prospect.
he's smiling like he deboed somebody for that chain. That's my grandmama's chain. Give me that chain.
My grandma gave you that chain.
He's little, come up
I'm
out
gonna
of
tuck
it.
mine in. I'm gonna tuck mine in.
I say that to say I do think they have a couple pieces without giving up their top guys to go get someone. Frankly, and this is probably unpopular, I don't trust Espino. Like, you're that young, you go through that much shoulder issues and elbow issues. If you could get a bat back for your top prospect, I'd make that move. I know Jay's very against it. Jay's like, starting pitching is so valuable, you can't do it. Well, this guy was supposed to be in the majors at this point. He was on the same track as Gavin Williams, and he's not going to pitch again for a year and a half.
No.
I would be totally fine parting ways with Espino for a bat, but I'm not sure if you're going to get the same return for Espino as you would for some other prospects just because of the injury concerns and the fact he's out for at least another year.
But I be telling Jay and them all the time, like, look, bro, like everybody, oh, there'll be 2 years before they get up here. We heard that about all 3 of these guys. Allen came up. Oh, he's raw. He doesn't have the stuff Bobby has. We think no, he's right up here. Bobby came. We were screaming for him. Gavin Williams is better. He might make it up before
Bobby.
Bobby. Guess what? Bobby came up here. Now Gavin Williams is here. Nah, bro. Like these dudes, they got it. See, the Guardians are starting to understand. They on us a little bit. Like we on to them. Like we y'all want us to pay attention to y'all. Now we paying attention to y'all. Like, we be on them about these prospects. And guess what? If they come out and ball out with a small sample size, that's what you can get for them if you need to trade them. It's going to bring the value up. So I'm looking at these young dudes. I want to see 2, 3 of them dudes. I need to see 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think in totality, big picture here, it's a really smart move by the Guardians.
Yeah.
This opens up, if nothing else, a chance to see what you have in Rocchio, Freeman, and Arias getting consistent at-bats. And you get a veteran pitcher to help subsidize the loss of Bieber, McKenzie, and Quantrill until they're back healthy.
I just want Oscar to come back and solidify himself like he did last year, man. If Oscar can be, what he was last year or better, I think that will go a long way in helping this entire offense. I'm really excited for this game tonight. I think that, you're going to see this lineup. It'll be interesting to see,
Have they released the lineup yet?
No, they haven't.
Not yet.
I think the game is like at 8:10, so we might be getting it
It's a
soon.
late game, yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see, how many hits they have, how many runs they score, how Tito kind of like puts this lineup together. And I'm excited to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing these young prospects get more opportunities. Amed Rosario was a guy that was 10 times out of 10 not going to be on the roster at the end of this year anyway, so I'm not surprised by it. We got something back. I'll take something over nothing every single time.
Yep, and we're going to go to Anthony in 1 second. It is funny tonight as we get to the series with the White Sox. You're looking at a seller versus a team we don't know. The White Sox waving the white flag. We know what they're doing now. It's up to the Guardians to progress.
3 straight series wins. Let's make it 4.
Let's do it. And